Did you know that Anand Mahindra once wanted to be a filmmaker? To pursue his filmmaking dream, he went to Harvard but ultimately ended up with an MBA. But why am I telling you about his journey? Probably because I am right now at Mahindra University and we are going to have this episode of Know Your Campus from this very campus where we would want to know a little bit about how they are creating the global leaders of tomorrow. We're going to talk to the Dean of the School of Management. We're also going to talk to Sanjay Singh, who is the head of the executive MBA that is going on here. We are trying to understand what exactly makes a student the right fit for this particular institute and what you can expect from this particular institute. So let's get going with me. So as promised, we are here. Right beside me, sitting are the people who are going to be, spearheading this ship that we spoke about in our introduction. Right now in front of me is the Dean of the School of Management from Mahindra University, Dr. Velamuri, and the Executive MBA head, and who's going to be the head of the MBA programs also that's going to be run here, Dr. Sanjay Singh. Why did Mahindra think of starting a university of its own, and why starting an MBA program, if at all?
The Mahindras have actually had a long history in education. They have the Mahindra Educational Foundation, which has been running schools all over the country. And in 2020, they decided to apply for a private university status in Hyderabad, in the state of Telangana, by which time they had already been running an engineering college for about 6 years that was affiliated to JNTU, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University. And the decision was then taken once the university status was granted to set up other schools. So to bring the engineering college under the university umbrella and to set up a school of management, a school of law, a school of education, a school of media studies, a center for life sciences, and so on. They had a lush green campus in the northern part of Hyderabad, and the decision was made to transfer most of this land to the university and to repurpose it for a university.
And how big this particular university is, and to my question again, why was the need to start an MBA program? Probably you are the right person for this particular question because you have seen that one batch of MBA students coming in here. When did that decision, take shape, and how was it so far that you have run this program?
Well, so this campus we have is over 100 acres, and some buildings are pre-existing, but a lot of them are being repurposed, and a lot of new construction is also happening. So, for example, even for the School of Management, we are going to have a spanking new building designed by internationally renowned architects from New York. So we actually were very unique in a sense that traditionally, if you look at business schools in India, most of them actually started with full-time MBA programs, and then some of them then started their undergraduate programs, the BBA programs. But traditionally, it has been the MBA first, followed by undergrad. For us, we did it the other way around. Our first programs were our undergraduate programs, and we started that in the peak of COVID times. And in that same year, we actually decided to launch our executive MBA first. The reason we started with executive MBA is because that is an underserved segment in the country. So we, I think, are one of the only 3 true-blooded executive MBA programs in the country. Then the question was, should we launch a full-time MBA or not? And for the population that India has, I think a lot of good quality schools are needed in India.
Right.
And so there is always a need for a good quality program to come in and make its offering available to the young citizens
Right.
of the country to avail of good quality education without having to step outside the country. And with the backing of the Mahindra brand and the Mahindra group, we thought that it is only appropriate that we also provide this opportunity to some of the youngsters. So and incidentally, last year we also launched our PhD program. So with the full-time program, now the School of Management will be offering the full suite of programs that any business school in the world would want to do. So we would want to be slow and steady in terms of our growth, but we want to focus on quality.
Our faculty team has PhDs from the leading international universities such as Temple, Utah State, University of Hawaii. I am from the University of Virginia. Sanjay has studied at NUS. But we also have PhDs from IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, ISB, IFMR, the National Law University of Jodhpur, IIT Delhi, and so on. We are very careful when we recruit faculty. So we hired our first group of about 10 faculty members based on about 200 applications. So it's not easy to become a full-time faculty member at Mahindra University because we want people who are highly trained in research and capable of publishing their research in the leading international peer-reviewed journals. We believe that it's important for faculty members not only to be research trained, but research active, because these are the faculty members who will stay abreast of the latest developments in their fields. And I don't need to tell you that the world is changing very fast now, and there are new areas emerging within business schools which require new competencies. We are hiring people who are knowledgeable and who can teach these concepts, who can teach marketing, but digital marketing, who can teach finance, but can teach fintech, right? Who can teach supply chain, but can also teach supply chain analytics. So that is the thinking that we are bringing. And we are also partnering with some leading international schools. The Cornell University's SC Johnson College of Business is a partner. Frankfurt School of Finance and Management is a partner. And we are actively in discussions with other universities in other parts of the world.
Right. One element that you hear again and again when it comes to new business schools that are cropping up, as you said, that transformations are happening within the space of business as well, is the fact that it is becoming more and more industry driven, right? More and more CXOs, CEOs are coming to teach these very students so that they learn from the very get-go as to what they are going to work in when they graduate from this particular institute. Mahindra University, being part of the Mahindra and Mahindra group, with a legacy like this, with an industrial connect like this, how much of that is going to be, fructified for this particular course that you guys are planning to do?
We believe that that's a huge advantage that we have. The NEP is also talking about industry connections and industry linkages for education institutions. And we have this organic connection with the Mahindra group. In fact, in the first 18 months of this year, we've had senior managers from the Mahindra group come and address our students. For example, the former COO of Tech Mahindra came and did a presentation at Mahindra University for researchers from all the schools to say that when it comes to artificial intelligence and analytics, these are the pressing problems that industry is facing today. Can you help us, from your vantage point as researchers and with the knowledge that you have of research, can you help us address these problems? We have, the automotive business in the Mahindra group, right? We have an MTech in mechatronics. And so the students who are studying for the MTech program will have the opportunity of interacting with the R&D teams at Mahindra and Mahindra.
If I may add, we are not only reliant on Mahindra, while it's a huge advantage, we are also leveraging their network with industry, but we are also leveraging our own network, because ultimately, while it is Mahindra University, it is not just about Mahindra companies. It is a sheer coincidence that today when you are here, our executive MBA classes are going on, and I think you saw that we had a guest speaker coming in from Dr. Reddy's laboratories, right? So we are leveraging our network that both of us bring, as well as the university leaders bring to the table. And so our industry focus is not limited to Mahindra group companies, but it is spread all across various business groups in India.
Right. Sanjay, we were talking also about, the blend that MBA programs are all about, right? We spoke about digital marketing. There's something that is coming up, which is metaverse. AI is disrupting a lot of processes that we have already seen or probably have done in our lives, which we have to relook again. How can you ensure or assure the students who are walking in here that you will give a curriculum as suitable as this, which can help them in getting jobs for tomorrow?
An absolutely relevant question. In fact, if you look at the specializations we are currently offering, they are absolutely relevant to the industry needs of today. But two specializations that we are offering are, digital business and business analytics. And if you look at digital business, as an example, even brick and mortar companies today, right, they are running on a digital backbone. While the customer may not see it, but behind the scenes, all decisions and all data is captured digitally. They reach out to their customers through the digital channels today, right? It's not anymore print as much as they reach out digitally. And like you pointed out, that metaverse is becoming a big thing. What we have done recently is the School of Management has set up a digital lab where we are actually running experiments on metaverse with a real company which is using metaverse for its sales channel. And the research endeavor is to see how metaverse is impacting real life sales. And our students will get involved in these projects, so they will understand how managerial decisions are taken, how digital technologies are being used in real life. So when they are ready for placements, they know what is needed in the modern digital economy of today. And so we will have the top end computer in the digital lab with Oculus 3D devices to run experiments and work with organizations on latest cutting edge research in this, which will enable our students to be industry ready. Incidentally, a lot of people may not be aware, but I think that we are the only private university in India to own a supercomputer. We have a supercomputing lab at Mahindra University. And being a full-fledged university, our School of Management students can also take some cross school courses. They can, of course, leverage the supercomputing lab facilities if they want to do further research in metaverse or other digital technologies. So these are some ways we are actually encouraging our students to be ready with some practical experience of handling some of the latest technologies. In fact, one other thing, I don't know, when you walk around, possibly you will see, is we are also coming up with a trading lab, which will have live ticker. NSE will give our students some virtual currency so that they can actually practice hands-on on how trading happens. So through the use of some of these laboratories and supercomputing labs, etc., we are ensuring that our students have hands-on experience in some of these latest technologies, and they are absolutely ready to contribute from day one that they enter the workforce.
Dr. Velamuri, this is a university where culmination of learning happens. We see people from different parts of the world, country coming in here, studying in different verticals, studying in different schools, studying different schools of thoughts, right, in their lives. How important then it becomes for you to choose or select the students who you are going to make part of the first foundation batch of your MBA that is going to be the name of the Mahindra University, or probably bear the flag of Mahindra University?
Was a very important question. My colleague was saying earlier that the first building block of any educational institution is the faculty, and the second building block is attracting good students who are motivated to study. So the key to that is not to be obsessed by numbers to begin with.
Right.
Okay. So we are very clear that we are happy with our first batch that is as small as 30 students. And we are prepared to go up to 60 students. But the advantage of being part of a large group that is not in the education business to make money, and whose leaders have exposure to the best education institutions in the world. I think you know that our Chancellor, Mr. Anand Mahindra, got both his undergraduate and graduate degrees from Harvard University. Our Vice Chancellor got his undergrad degree from IIT Kharagpur, his BTech, and then his PhD from the University of Wisconsin at Madison. The deans of the different schools are, absolutely thought leaders in their field. So my engineering colleague, Dr. Vishnupal, he is one of the global leaders in the area of photonics. He was with IIT Delhi for 35 years. And when President Bill Clinton came to India, he was one of only 2 Indian academics who was invited to meet him in Delhi. And similarly, we have stalwarts heading our, School of Education, School of Law, and the Center for Life Sciences. So one of the things that gave me confidence to join Mahindra University as the first employee of the School of Management was precisely this, right? The qualifications of the leadership of the university and of the different schools, and the fact that our engineering school was placing its graduates in master's programs at schools such as Stanford, Columbia, Purdue, Imperial College London, École Centrale, the IITs in India, and so on and so forth. So I could see very clearly that the university was on the right path, and that they would not cut corners for the sake of numbers. And so the simple answer, I think I've given you a very long answer to your question, but the simple answer to your question is the key to ensuring good quality is to be very selective to begin with. And as you rightly pointed out, the first batch then becomes the ambassador for the other students to join. And that creates a virtuous cycle. That's what we are banking on.
Sanjay, let's talk about the location of this particular institute also. It's nestled in Hyderabad, the city that probably is growing at a rapid speed. Probably it's going to topple Bangalore at some point as well with the kind of expansion it's seeing. Is it a strategic move to situate or locate this particular institute here, or it just happened because serendipity?
Well, I think it just happened because we had this space of 100 acres here. But sometimes things that happen by chance, are also great. And one of the things that, one notices about Hyderabad is that it is becoming a big education hub. So there are lots of great quality institutions which have come up in Hyderabad. Plus, there is a lot of startup activity happening in Hyderabad. We have one of the world's largest incubation centers. The T Hub is located in Hyderabad. It is now becoming an aerospace hub. If you notice, there are lots of aerospace companies which are Tata Aerospace is based out of Hyderabad. The first private rocket that was launched from India, the company is based out of Hyderabad. We are a big pharma hub. We are a big IT hub. One of the world's largest offices of Amazon, Microsoft, etc., outside the headquarters are located in Hyderabad. So not only in terms of education hub and access to good quality faculty, but our students will also have access to a lot of industry interactions within Hyderabad itself, and future work options also out of Hyderabad will be quite lucrative.
And let's talk about the kind of facilities that you're offering here. A university itself is a place which becomes the second home for a lot of these students who come in here. So how do you make sure that you keep them engaged as well, while they are studying, and, learning from not just their textbook or their peers, but overall while they do, say, for example, taking part in games or be part of clubs and committees or be part of anything that recharges their minds?
Yeah, so we have a variety of options. So one thing which happens is that, there are, of course, sporting facilities which are available on the campus. If you walk in, you will see a lot of construction also happening. A new football field with an athletic track is coming up. We have a fantastic swimming pool, basketball courts, tennis courts, and of course we have gymnasiums and other things as well. So in terms of their physical well-being, that is being taken care of. In terms of extracurricular engagements and activities, you rightly pointed out about clubs. So we have various professional as well as social clubs which exist in the university, and they are run entirely by students. In fact, even our alumni engagement activities are currently run by existing students of the university under guidance from faculty members, of course. So there are lots of options for them to learn from outside the classroom as well, through teamwork, through planning activities that they do for their clubs, club events, etc. So there is enough engagement which happens to keep them busy, not just physically but also mentally.
Right. Dr. Velamuri, I asked you this question and I want to go back to it again. I've asked you about the foundation batch. How do you think that people who are going to entrust on Mahindra University with their money, with their time, with their opportunity cost that an MBA comes up with, they would believe in an institute which does not have a batch of its own, which they would look up to, or a placement report to look up to? How would they make sure that they are making the right choice in getting in a place like this?
So interestingly, Paul, I have done a lot of research on this topic, right? So how does a new entity, because my area is entrepreneurship, how does a startup that has no customers, no product, no production facilities, no existing customer base, how does it signal quality to its stakeholders? So basically, the concept is that the new entity borrows a reputation, right? So we borrow our reputation from Mr. Anand Mahindra. We borrow our reputation from the Mahindra Group, which has an impeccable reputation in India. We borrow our reputation from the School of Engineering that has a track record of more than 8 years. And we also signal our reputation through the quality of our faculty, the quality of our facilities, the quality of our curriculum, and the quality of our industry advisory board. Okay, so I don't think that with all these attributes, these prospective students should have any worry about the quality of education that they're going to receive, nor should they worry about placements. We believe that our MBA program is benchmarked against the best MBA programs in the world and in India. Our faculty members are on par with those of the best business schools in India. The curriculum is benchmarked, with the best business schools in the world. What we don't have with respect to business schools that have a much longer history is obviously an alumni base, right? But we are going to make up for that through our industry connections. And this is where I think having the backing of a group such as the Mahindra Group, and as my colleague pointed out, it's not just the Mahindra Group, but their network, okay? So we've already reached out through the Mahindra Group network to other companies, and they have helped us in many ways, right? So for example, we are, the board members of the Mahindra Group are committed to helping us, become a successful education institution. So these are all attributes that we lean on until we can have, a track record of our own.
Right. And how would you define, Sanjay, an ROI for a student who is joining an institute like Mahindra University to be?
Very clearly, I mean, for most students coming in, I think they define ROI by the kind of average compensation that they would receive on graduation. And since we cannot speak about it, right now, because as you rightly said, we don't have a history of placements. But very clearly, if we are benchmarking ourselves to some of the best institutions, we would also benchmark our placement record with those institutions. And as of now, this can only be a promise. And some actions are already being taken. So as you are aware, our classes will only start in around August, September. But we have a new placement officer joining us in about a month's time. So even before the students are here, we are getting, a placement team in place. So this is a signal of our commitment to say that we are not leaving any stone unturned to ensure that our students have great placements. And one of the things I always like to say is that for any university, and it's not just unique about us, right? We would, once a student graduates, that individual is an alumnus for life. We wouldn't want an unhappy alumnus, right? We would want our alumni to be happy, and they will be happy if they have achieved their goals by coming here. And that is when the strongest mode of publicity, which is word of mouth, will happen. So for sure, we are not going to leave any stone unturned to ensure that we have great placements, and the first cohort leads the path for the future admissions.
And with the change that is happening in the world right now, the digitization that's taking place, the AI taking over, the Mahindra Group itself is also venturing into a lot of new, sectors, a lot of new kind of ideas, a lot of new kind of products, to name a few. So, how is that going to also help in making sure that these very minds that are getting trained are getting, absorbed or are getting picked by the Mahindra Group as well as somebody who can lead these very projects, which are probably in the nascent stage right now or in a startup stage right now, like your university, which is.
No, for sure. The Mahindra Group will be delighted to, have this talent available to them. But we will be conscious not to place all our students in the Mahindra Group. While they have the capacity to absorb all of them, I think we would also want to give opportunities to our students to have a choice, which goes beyond the Mahindra Group, right? Because, like I said, while we borrow our reputation from that, but that should not, bring a connotation of restrictiveness, which is not our intent at all. So they will be enablers, but for students, they will have a much wider choice of industry and companies available when it comes to placements.
Sanjay, in August or September, you are expecting a new batch to come and study, right, with you in this particular institute. Tell us a little bit about what that process is going to be. How hard or difficult is it going to be for these very students to walk in here? And what should they be keeping in mind to impress you when they, meet you in that interview call so that they get in here and get the education that you were talking about?
No, thank you for asking this question. I think for prospective applicants, our application process is fairly similar to what they would encounter in an international business school. And typically we would ask them for their demographic information, contact information, etc., and their past academic record. In terms of standardized tests, currently we are accepting GMAT, GRE and CAT scores. In addition to that, they would have to write one essay for which they will find the topic when they log in into their application form. And one thing that we do uniquely is that we also ask them to record a video essay. So it's not, both are not written essays. And this also covers to some extent on, your earlier question about how can we ensure quality. So, and all of us know that there are today, admission consultants who can write essays for you. But it is very difficult to speak and record an essay which is written by somebody else, right? And so therefore we have introduced this video essay, which we have used for our executive MBA as well, and we find it to be extremely useful. So through the video essay, they can communicate what are the unique qualities that they bring to the program. They can do that through the written essay as well, and that will help us determine, right, what is the quality of the candidate we are admitting into the class. So this will be the typical application process, and if they have work experience, and we encourage people with some kind of work experience to apply to the program, then they will of course have to fill in a section about their work experience history as well. And after that we will also shortlist some profiles for a personal interview. We don't have a group discussion, process, because we are already taking a video essay. And after the interview, we will then make up our minds and release the admission offers.
Great, lovely. With a beautiful quote from Socrates behind us, I had a very good chat, very candid chat with you guys, trying to understand what you are trying to build in this particular university with the program that is at hand. Thank you very much, both of you, for being patient, for giving us the information that we wanted, and probably this is going to help the students who are looking for a university like Mahindra University. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Velamuri, as well, for sharing your insights about what you think the education of tomorrow could be, and I hope that you get the desired students that you have in mind so that you can mold them into professionals. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time as well.
Thank you. Well, it indeed was a different kind of Know Your Campus episode for us, and I'm sure that you must have also felt the same, because we came to a campus which does not have MBA batch yet, which does not have notable alumni members yet, which does not have a lot of infrastructure is in place yet. But I'm sure you have gotten the information that probably was needed for you to become the part of the foundation batch that this particular institute is going to hold very soon. If you want to know more about this institute, there's a link in the description. Go check that out. Do tell us in the comments below if you have any further questions, and do share this video if you found this useful. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode of Know Your Campus.